Hi, Caroline. How you doing? So this is interesting. Global zero waste beauty trend. That's interesting. I think there's an umbrella topic here that is more or less responsible practices in packaging and production. And this is, this is any industry. It's interesting that you've isolated it to the beauty industry, but the overall umbrella topic is responsible packaging and production, zero waste packaging and production. And I think that the main thing we really need to do right now is just real. We got to do two things here. And if you've looked at this form, you see we're really concentrating on two things. One is establishing a good, solid call to action. That's going to drive a lot of your decision making. And another thing that's going to drive your decision making is defining your target audience. So narrowing this topic to zero waste or responsible packaging and production in the beauty industry is a really good way to define your target audience, and that will help you drive your design decisions. So right now, I think we just kind of need to work out this call to action a little bit. Okay, so infographic, where do you call that? This is so you're saying, okay, so the call to action is that this is not just a trend; it's a ground shaking movement, and I agree. Let's call it a movement. Let's not call it a trend. But that's not a call to action. Then you got to say the call to action states that becoming a zero waste will not only help the beauty industry but also the earth. Yes. Okay. So how this might be the call to action to the manufacturer, right? But to the individual, the folks who purchase products, what's the call to action to them? And I think it would be something like to become aware of the ecological and financial benefits um, of purchasing responsibly produced and packaged zero waste products. In your case, beauty products. So we're trying to inform the general public that by doing a little research and finding and purchasing products that are produced and packaged responsibly, you can do your part to reduce our carbon footprints, which in course of in turn will reduce global warming, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? So that's great. At this point, I just want you to fine tune that call to action just a little bit as it relates to the consumer, because the consumer is the one that's going to be looking at the infographic. But also, the infographic is pertinent to other industries, all industries, really, when you think about it. So by narrowing your topic to the beauty, I think you've done yourself an enormous favor, because now you can really target that market to the nth degree. So by saying the beauty, now what do we know about the beauty industry? We know that primarily women are the purchasers. We can probably even narrow down an age group of uh, the within the target market who purchases the most of most beauty products. Then we take that and we narrow that age group down even further. And then we can even narrow that down further to what sort of demographic commonalities do people who produce, and keep on drilling down like that until you have a solid target market where you can say, okay, my target market is women who buy cosmetic products, but who are in between the age of 35 and 50, or 27 and 35, or 27 and 45, or whatever, with incomes of blah blah blah, and live in rural areas, right? So it's not saying you're disregarding other folks. It's saying that this is who you really basically want to speak to. Why? Because this is the bulk of the group that purchases this product anyway. Okay, am I making sense, Carolina? Um, so really that, as you can see, really narrowing down your target market helps drive your design decisions. So in this case, we're looking at two things to assist us in developing our decisions, our actual design decisions, and that is the call to action and defining the target audience. And in this case, we can clearly see that the call to action does help us define the target audience. So everything is right here. It's looking great. All we need to do now is just let's just kind of really hone that, refine that call to action, and then further, and then really refine your call to action and define your target audience for your final for your submission on Sunday. So I guess I could have said all that in one sentence, right? 5 minutes later. Okay, Carolina. So anyways, if you have any questions at all, please let me know. But I mean, this is a great first step in planning a successful infographic, and I'm looking forward to seeing this work develop. So at this point, if you have any questions at all, please let me know, Carolina. Thank you very much for sharing your information.